Hi everyone, I'm currently 30, and while it is not too late to make any changes to my life, I know there are 7 things that I would definitely done differently if I was in my early 20s. So this video is for somebody like you who is just starting out your college or your corporate career, and you need to learn from others who've gone through the phase so that you can make it better for yourself. Hi, my name is Pooja Talapatra, and I've worked in quite a few sectors like petrochemical, banking, currently in edtech. And I'm here to share 7 lessons that I have learned through my time in college and corporate. Let's begin. This is based on the premise that if you do something better 1% every day of your life, you're definitely going to make your life better by 37 times in 1 year. So imagine if you were to do all of this for 10 years, how many more times you'd be better. Doing the math just looks like this. So let's get started. The first lesson that I want to share with you is that everybody has 24 hours in the day. Now it's up to you to make sure that you carve out the specific time in which you are going to make the most of it. I have sort of worked with colleagues who work at night, people who make sure that they make their mornings productive. I myself have tried doing both, and I would certainly recommend that the sweet spot is waking up at least 3 hours prior to when your work starts. This of course is applicable to anybody whose office hours start between say 9:30 to 10:30, and if you're somebody whose office hours starts around 1:30 to 2 p.m., of course it differs, but the whole idea is to say that make your mornings more productive. Why 3 hours prior? Because you could sort of squeeze in your good habits of waking up and having a warm drink. It could be saffron water, jeera water, anything that you think is suitable for you. You could squeeze in your exercise after that, have a good healthy breakfast, and read a book or work on your projects, anything of that sort. But make sure that you make your morning super productive. I've seen my father wake up at 7 a.m. almost all my life, and while I was younger I was super skeptical about it. But now that I'm growing older, I really sort of appreciate what he does. I think right now he's getting up at 4:30, but I would say that it's oldish. But yeah, waking up at 5 a.m. could be quite a stretch for some folks. So I would recommend 6 a.m. That's what typically how I would design my life. From 6 to 6:15, I would sort of wake up, freshen up, and then from 6:15 to 6:30, I would just sit down and enjoy my warm drink in the morning. From 6:30 to around 7:15 is when I would go for a walk, enjoy the music while doing it. So that's going to be a sort of absolute me time. After that, I would come back, have my protein drink, have breakfast, take a shower. So that will be around 45 minutes. After that, I want around an hour of uninterrupted time to read a book or work on my YouTube script, and then I get ready and sort of go out to office. This is something that I have to still work on. This is something that I am striving towards, but this was something that I used to follow thoroughly till the second or third year of my corporate life, and then it slowly sort of waned off. And now in the last few years I've realized how critical this sort of schedule is, to make sure that you are sort of making use of all your critical time, because at the end of the day we are super tired, our mind doesn't work. Even if it does, it's not at optimum. So make sure that you use your mornings to full potential. The second lesson is that focus on building relationships. We know that school and college itself provides really nurturing environment for us to grow relationships, to grow friendships, develop good bonds, because you're sort of isolated from the rest of the world. You're not sure what you want. There's so much time to invest in that bonding. But as you move out of school and college, you are separated geographically, you're separated with new relationships in your life. There's so much going on, so you gradually sort of lose touch with your friends. But that's not how it should be. You should make sure that you have a larger network of folks that you are in touch with, you have a good connect, but make sure that when you build your sort of small circle, you are an average of 5 people that you interact with. So when you build that small structure, that should be rock solid. You should be able to pick up the phone and talk to them anytime. And they should not be people who bring in more drama in your life. They should be people who are like rocks and they don't drain away your energy. You could probably talk to them and they give you constructive feedback, constructive advice. It could be about your personal life, it could be about business ideas that you're thinking of, it could be in general, it could be anything. So focus on building relationships. Networking is of course a part of it. Networking is when you know people for the purpose of building business relationships to get ahead in your career. That's also important, but this part is more of focus on building rock solid relationships. Why? Because now that I'm 30, I'm realizing that some of my friends who I thought was super close to me probably moving away, probably behaving differently, and that's a lesson. And I've realized that at some point or the other, this is an inflection point when that happens to everybody. While one or two folks will slip away at your end also, but make a conscious decision to make sure that you are well connected with folks and you could, sort of be with them till old age. The third lesson is super critical, and I think you should really pay attention to it. The third lesson is about arming yourself with skills. Skills are extremely critical in today's world, and I would like to assemble it into 4 categories. The first one is simply data. Learn to work with data. A lot of people are very afraid of data, how to structure them, understanding variables, understanding what matters in the business context. But you should not be afraid of that. Take a data dump of 1,000 rows and just figure out what to do with it. Take it from anywhere. Take it from the RBI website, take it from any public available source, and just work with data. And the first thing that you need to work on with data is Excel. Learn Excel shortcuts, pivot, VLOOKUP, what is, loop, all of it, and try and see as much as you can. Crunch data, take out insights. Excel is the first step. Once you are super clear with Excel, take up SQL. So if you work in FMCG as a category manager, or you work in a bank, you will have large data dumps to work through, and Excel has a limitation of 10 lakh rows in the file. So you would have to sort of work on SQL. So learn SQL. It's super simple. I will put some links in the description box for you to go and see the tutorials. It's completely free of cost, but do check it out and learn it on your own. No one's going to teach you. Once you're in corporate, you will see other people sort of learning all these skills, implementing them for their own productivity. So you would have to sort of do it at your end as well. The second thing is visualization. So same part of the data structure is you would want to learn how Tableau and Power BI work. So they are essentially softwares. Free versions are also available. Take a look. They crunch very large data sets to visualization elements. So there are graphs, bar charts, heat maps, anything which makes it super simple. So that is a sort of advanced version of you learning to do all of that in Excel. So once you complete all of this, so that's Excel, SQL, Tableau, and Power BI. Once this is done, this is your data side of things. The second thing that you want to learn is how do you put that story together? How do you represent it? So learn to make PowerPoints, and if you want to take it a notch higher, learn to make videos. If you go to LinkedIn and you see that a lot of companies like Kotak Mahindra Bank and a lot of forward-looking companies would make videos for their annual financial statements, their sort of product lines, launch videos. So it's taking one step ahead of presentations. Imagine in a company where everybody is making presentations and you're somebody who has a presentation, but you also added your own video at the end and you run it on your own. That's such a brownie point. It always helps to stand out. So I'm currently learning how to video edit, but I wish I had done it a long time back, because right now life is so busy that you don't get to sort of focus on one learning element, right? this is my second advice. The third thing is that learn digital marketing. Digital marketing is the number one cost-effective way for a company to market their product and get leads. So no matter which company you're working for, you will need digital marketing. So learn how the Google ads work, set up your own campaign, learn how LinkedIn ad, Facebook ads work, learn how Amazon ads work. I'm going to link all these sort of certifications and learning portals in the description box, so just check it out. I'm not getting anything from these links. These are not affiliate links, but these are links that I have sort of found out and I've also gone through them. Super helpful. A lot of companies recruit folks solely who have expertise in say Amazon ads and digital marketing. There's a huge demand. So by the time you reach 25, 26 or even 30, you're going to be super battered. And write to companies who want freelance, say Amazon ads expert, get a hands-on experience once you've learned enough. The last and the most important part is sales. I'm not saying that you have to sell a mutual fund product or you have to understand what is objective handling, sales processes. You don't need to all of that, but understand how sales happens, the whole crux of sales, because you're going to be selling yourself, your skills, your ideas to everybody and anybody throughout your life, whether it's in your personal space or your professional space. You're going to keep selling yourself to everybody. For example, on a lighter note, if your parents want to go to the US but you want to go to Greece, there's a disagreement, right? And your parents are paying for the trip. So that is similar to what happens in a company. A company is paying for you as a resource and paying for your project that you want to do, but it's your idea and you want to execute it. So how do you convince someone that they should listen to you against their own wishes, paying with their money? So this angle comes with experience, and one important way to understand is something that we had spoken about in the previous video. It was about aligning KPIs. So try and understand what the other person is looking at, try and understand what the other person's objective is, and then align the sort of outcomes of your idea to that. So for example, if your parents want to go to the US for the purpose of their first travel outside, maybe they've not gone anywhere else, so but you want to go to Greece, right? It's also your first travel outside. So look at the fact that they've never gone outside. Probably the visa process is much longer in the US. The probability of them getting rejected for US is higher. Maybe the cost is much higher for US than Greece. Greece has a lot of historical places to visit, etc, etc. You could cover a whole country within less number of days. They would have to take lesser leaves. There's so much that you could sort of pitch to them, right? So essentially every problem, every idea that you have, you need to be super good at sales and negotiation. This is something that I have also picked up from one of my managers. I've observed him over the years, and he applies this to every single meeting, whether it is with a smaller stakeholder, larger stakeholder, but it's a critical habit, and this builds with time. So the more you practice, the more you understand how it works. Lesson 4 is that keep at least one hobby. I have taken up so many hobbies over the year, from stitching to cooking to gardening, but I'm not stuck to just one. What that sort of creates is that I am at an initial level in all of my hobbies. That's not something that you want to be, honestly, because as someone who wants to excel in everything that I do, I want to stick to one thing and be really good at it. While in the process of exploring in so many things, I'm not good at anything. So you should take up one particular aspect. It could be playing chess, it could be gardening, it could be YouTube, it could be anything. But just start, maybe explore some things over, say, 6 months. That's fine if you are okay to do it over the next 30-40 years. Explore something and then stick to it. So eventually you'll get super better at it. And what will help you with at a later stage is that you will meet a lot of new people. For example, if you are passionate about reviewing restaurants, restaurants. You could be a part of eat clubs. Of course, you would have a risk of gaining weight, but you'll have to manage that. So you would be part of eat clubs. You will meet new people, a lot of interesting folks. You will eventually increase your social circle, and so on and so forth. So just think of one hobby and make sure that it keeps you sane, it keeps you happy. Don't get stressed out by it, but take something up in which you can progress at a slow and steady rate, and eventually you'll get good at it. Lesson 5 is exercise and be healthy. This is super critical, and I think this is also sort of part of the first point in which we spoke that we need to make time for us in the morning. While I said that for me, going for a walk is one part of making my mornings productive, it also intertwines with the fact that I want to keep myself healthy. As per a startup called Week Fit, they have a yearly report called Great Indian Sleep Survey. As per the sleep survey of 2024, only 50% folks sleep by 11 p.m. and half of Indians wake up tired in the morning. That is not something great. So make sure you know when you need to sleep and when you need to wake up. I need at least 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep to wake up really fresh. So to keep your lifestyle healthy, just try and understand your body when it needs to sleep, when it needs to wake up, and keep a single sort of slot of waking up for your body, because the biological clock needs to be trained. For example, if you wake up every day at 6 o'clock, eventually one day you'll get to a point in which you're waking up without an alarm, which is extremely healthy, which means that you'll be waking up fresh. That is a sign that your body is becoming healthy. So one point, beyond a certain age, you will need to define parameters which indicate a good health, and not just by weight. So Rujita Divekar, a very sort of well-known dietitian, and her team specifically says that there are these matrices which you need to measure for good health, and one of them is that you wake up on your own and you fall asleep at the same time, including weekends. I will also link a really good book in the description so that you can go check it and read it. I highly recommend it. I have really benefited from it. So follow some of the practices that she focuses on. Keep yourself healthy and you work out. You will eventually look at yourself in the mirror and admire yourself. Looks matter. Don't judge me for saying that, but looks do matter, but not in the way that you are thinking. So looks matter because when you look at yourself in the mirror, you are praising yourself, you're super confident, you're glowing, you're really happy with how you are. So that gives you a dopamine hit, and it really changes the way you're walking, talking, the way you are interacting with others and projecting yourself to the world. So you become so confident of the way you give points in a meeting. So essentially, it's not how others are viewing you, it's more of how you are viewing yourself and how your personality changes as per that. Point number 6 is take up a passion project. A lot of Gen Zs that I've met are perpetually complaining that they don't want to become employees, they want to become employers. So the easiest way to do that is take up a passion project in your early 20s and see where it goes. You could be experimenting with so many things and one project might just stick. If you look at really well-known companies like Google, Twitter, so many more are there. So essentially, they started as side projects. None of these founders actually thought that it would turn into something super serious. The author of the book, $1 Million Weekend, Noah, so even he started his sort of app called AppSumo, and that also started as a side hustle. So I would also recommend that you read that book, or I would also do a video on what that book sort of recommends. So it's not just helpful for your own business, it's really helpful from the way you perceive things, you look at problems. So for example, it's one important concept that it says that if you are at a loss for business thoughts, projects, what you want to take up, so essentially look at your own life. If you have no problem, try and solve it for yourself with the mindset of a business. So I did some thinking and I realized that I'm someone who's busy in life and I don't have the time to sort of cook an elaborate meal for myself. And even when I do, it's a lot of research work, looking for recipes, getting the ingredients. The ingredients are probably bought in bulk, so they are left over. There's a lot of wastage. So, leaving all these complications behind, if I want to have a very simplistic cooking experience every day, I would want somebody to send me a short recipe along with all the ingredients. I could just follow the recipe and just have it done in 15 minutes. Suppose if I come back from work at around 7:30, I want it delivered at 8 o'clock, and that's it. I think that's a superb business thought that I have, and I think a lot of folks who migrate from their own hometowns and stay alone for the sake of work would definitely prefer something like that. So look at your own life and try and see what you can do better and take it up as a side passion project. Like if I was to start it as a passion project, I would probably hire somebody to all my friends, see what they like every day, ask him to get all the ingredients, package it, and send it across every day at night or in the morning, wherever they're preferred. So this would preferred timing would be. So this would sort of be the start of a very, very small passion project, and at the same time you could get feedback, could do your pilot testing, so on and so forth. You could capture their preferences over a Google form. So anything is possible. So start a passion project. You don't know what sort of sticks through, and someday you could make a lot of money out of it. The last lesson is something that we're all familiar with, but probably don't pay much heed to it. Last lesson is that wherever you are professionally, do it well, which is another way to say is that wherever you're planted, bloom well. A lot of us sort of don't do that. If you're part of an organization and you're not happy doing the work, we tend to slack off, not be interested, show our disregard for the project, so on and so forth. But the idea is that wherever you are planted, just bloom. That's how consultants do their work. So every 6 months they get a new project, they get a new industry, and they get to learn a lot. It's not their life is simple. They're probably working 14 hours a day, but they're excited about what they're doing. They're excited about the new industry. They want to learn more. So that's what you should also do. If you are not emotionally excited about it or you're not passionate about the industry, it's okay. It's business, it's work. The business model is getting you revenue, right? If you're part of an organization, the organization is making money. There are customers who are wanting to pay for it, which means that while you may not be passionate about it, there is a demand and the world is happy accepting the solution. So make sure that you are emotionally sort of managing yourself well. This is something that I have also learned from my managers, who are probably not very happy coming to office at 9:30 and leaving at 8:30 and making so many fascinating contributions throughout the day. But they do it well. Why? Because they want to show their brilliance, they want to show their capability even if they're not happy. Of course, the day you decide to pack your bags and leave, that's a different thing. But till the time you're there in the organization, till the time you're there in your workspace, make sure that you don't tarnish your reputation by not doing your work properly. So make sure that you show up 100% of the time, you speak up, you contribute to projects, and you keep showing your brilliance. Don't confuse your passion, your emotions with your workplace. So in your early careers, you would definitely go through a lot of industries trying to figure out what excites you. So my suggestion would be that while you're doing that, make sure that you keep giving your best everywhere. All right, I think we have come to the end of the video. Those were the 7 sort of lessons that I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Do subscribe if you liked it. Bye.